Let it go, let it go,
let it go, let it go,
let it go, let it go,
let it go, let it go, let it go,
let it
let it go. That's my song.
go,
Yes. I release,
let it
All
go,
right, we're
oh,
on.
I
Zulma Gonzales,
surrender.
this mic
let
is
it go,
all yours.
let it go, let it go. I'm gonna let it go, let it,
Let it, let it
I'm gonna let it go,
go, let it
I'm gonna let it go,
go,
let it,
let it, let
I'm
it
gonna let it go,
go, let it, let it
gonna let
go,
it go,
go,
let it,
let it, let it, let it, gonna let it go.
oh yeah, let it, gonna let it
Gonna
go,
let it go,
let it,
let it, let it, let it,
gonna let it go,
go, let it, let it, let it, gonna let it go.
let it
Let
go,
it go, let it go, let it go,
let it go,
go, let it go. It's my favorite song,
let
Regis.
it
Thank you
go,
very
let
much.
it go,
Let it go, let it go. I love that song. The words, I release, I surrender, I let go. When things are just too much and I'm holding on so tight, I want to just relax, give up without a fight. I long to feel that sweet release. So I turn within and pray, stop, take a breath, relax, surrender, and say, let it go. I love that song. And I play it, well, in my mind every now and then. I'll just tell Alexa to play it. And it's what I do. It's what I do. It's what I do. I love the situation that Karen and I experienced yesterday, and for me the day before yesterday. I love it because it gives me and her and everybody else that was on that thread um an opportunity to practice what we claim we believe. And that's so key. The course teaches that to say it is one thing, but to mean it is everything. And it's just and Regis had posted in the chat on Pal Talks, and now they've got two chats going. And Regis had posted in the chat that he was glad when he finds out that he wasn't correct about something. And I was saying, and I said, yeah, because that gives me a chance to get back to the best part. Because when you're in your feelings and you're thinking that you're right and you're right and you're right, and then you find out, oh wait, nope. What that does, and I got this from a communication class, the reminder that in any situation among humans, when there's always a 50% chance that you're incorrect. 50%. Which would be, quote, my half of it. There's always a chance that I could be incorrect. Stephen Covey says, seek first to understand and then to be understood. I'm grateful all the way around for the entire situation, for what was posted, for what wasn't posted, for what was learned, what for all that we learned. It was fantastic. And now I'm ready. I'm in bubble land. I'm in bubble land. I want to dance and I want to sing, and whatever Regis plays, my shoulders are going to move to it because that's just the way it is. Yeah. So I had no particular I didn't have any particular thing to talk about here, but I'm gonna stay right where I am in the totality of the kingdom, which I said was one of my favorite sections of the course, is where the quote came from, that every response you make is determined by what you think you are. Every response we make is determined by what we think we are, and I like that it says what. It doesn't say who. It says what. I am in a class right now. I just started a class, and it's titled something like "What You Think Is True About You," or something like that. What you think is true about, basically it talks about our story and everything that we talk in here, just from different from the science of mind perspective, and other spiritual teachers as well. I was listening to who the master teachers are for this one and that one. And for me, God is the master teacher. Life is the master teacher for me. Life is the master teacher. And in that, I get all these people who were giving me some this and giving me some that, because Earl Purdy for me was the one. And I had a chance to meet him too. Oh my God. That was just a tremendous thing. A lot of what I learned was from about the course was just me sitting and reading by myself, and then discovering a little bit at a time that there was these people and that people here and there. I met Regina before I met Lynn and Dove. Regina Dawn Akers at the Be the Love conference in 2009. I met John Mundy giving his talk on. I think I've talked about the day I met John Mundy. The day I met him, I saw him coming across the field. Across the grass, and I saw him and I got starstruck. Oh my God, it's John Bundy, and I apparently he must have seen it in my eyes. And he walks up to me and he, reaches out, shakes my hand. He says, "I'm John Mundy." I said, "I know." He said, "And I am nobody." And I looked and he said, "And neither are you." Of course, that's the 10-minute alarm. I need to go at least turn the stove off. I don't know how this is going to work. It's noodles. We'll see. I'm going to go turn the stove off. I'll be right back, because what I'm not going to do is burn my food. Regis, play a song. I'll be right back.
Regis didn't know he was going to be the DJ today.
I've played the teacher, the preacher, guru, maintaining posture, separating me and you, as if the thoughts of God were mine and mine to speak.
As if the thoughts
with an agenda, so I could prove all of the shit I believe to be true.
I love it. I love it. Go back. I'm good. I'm good. I don't know who that was, but if you've ever heard Scott Grace, Scott Grace has a fantastic CD, a few actually, but the ones that I purchased when I met him, that was all at that same Be the Love conference. And he used to write very comedic songs. He has a gift of, you give him a topic and he can write songs on the spot. And it's not Scott Grace anymore. He's actually uses his last name, which is long, which is probably why he was using Grace. And he had this song called a Codependent Love Song. No, another Codependent Love Song. And which was hilarious. And he talked about, songs like, can't live if living is without you, that kind of thing, and that whole you complete me thing. And it's hilarious. A lot of comedic songs. And I hold on to these things. This whole, I listen to the songs that used to move me, and I still like the songs. I love oldies. I absolutely do. But when I hear them now, I actually hear, oh, that's another Codependent Love Song. So I'm staying, and you're gonna love me. Or the Diana Ross and Supreme Temptations. I'm gonna make you love me. I'm gonna make you love me. Aretha Franklin. I'm gonna rap on your door and tap on your window pane until you come back to me. That's what I'm gonna do. And all that is to say that we can't force God. We can't force anything. All we can do is recognize, and when we recognize that we have all because we are all, then there's nothing to force anyway. It's trying to go upstream, when the flow is just so easy and it's so mellow, it's just so cool. But we want to make things happen. We want to prove that, that we're strong, that we're powerful, that we're great. Of course, we're thinking that we're not strong, powerful, and great when we feel we have to prove it, because we're coming from our own thought system. It's crazy. And Lynn writes that special love is scary. It is scary because it starts out first of all, it has conditions. That's the first thing. It has conditions. You're so great, you're so wonderful, and you can do no wrong, and you don't even have to brush your teeth. No, that's not going to happen. Not really. But you're just so great and you're so wonderful, and then you do something that makes me feel. These are all the words that we end up putting into that makes me feel. We blame someone and something else for what we're feeling. And even in the sensual way, you make me feel like a natural woman. What? Was a natural woman when I came to you, and I presented this natural woman to you. So it can go any way. And the same Aretha Franklin, who's singing "You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman," turns around and says, "You're running out of fool. Chain of fools. You treated me mean. You treated me cruel. And you're running out of fool." What? We go back and forth with this because we don't, and it's in chapter 18, I think, or chapter 24. Now I have to find it. With that whole tossed and blown thing. It is not you. Let's see. I think it's in chapter 24. I said 18, but I think it's in 24. Let me see. We spend our lives going back and forth thinking that we have to let everything out here control us. But in chapter 24, section 3, the forgiveness of specialness, paragraph 3 states, "It is not you who are so vulnerable and open to attack that just a word, a little whisper that you do not like, a circumstance that suits you not, or an event that you did not anticipate upsets your world and hurls it into chaos." It's not you, not you, not spirit that's in a state of grace forever. It is not you. The course continues, truth is not frail. Illusions, forgive us our illusions, Father, and help us to accept our true relationship with you, in which there are no illusions and where none can ever enter, because our holiness is yours. Illusions leave truth perfectly unmoved and undisturbed. But specialness, as Lynn said, special relationships are scary. Specialness is not the truth in you. In other words, the first thing we do is, I can't believe that they said that to me. How could they do that to me? After all, I'm whatever I think I am in that moment. Or how could they, who are so special to me, do that or say that to me? Either way, I end up being the victim. They're going to be the villain no matter what. It's always for me. And as me. I learned that in victimhood, the 4 stages of spiritual growth, that it happens to me first, and the victim. It happens by me. It happens through me, and it happens as me. And all of it is for me. All of it. M-E, my ego. But when I accept the fact that it's happening as me, it's me accepting the fact that I am life. I am what God is. I am it. Me choosing the Holy Spirit thought system. I am not an ego. It's all that recognition. It's just the recognition. It's already all right there. But no, we want to get small, or we want to make somebody else small. I have to be small if I think I'm a fool. Back to that chain of fools thing. I have to think I'm small if it's up to you to make me a natural woman. What? For you to make me feel. How can you make me feel anything without my permission to do it in the first place? It's all me. It's all me. Cheryl Valentine. Did you know her, Regis? Cheryl Valentine, she used to come on Pal Talk. Had a chance to meet her too. She was great. Cheryl was great. She had a personality that was just fake. But she wrote a book titled "Oh My God, It's Me." Oh my God, it's me. And that became a famous go-to line. It's not about anything out there. It's not about anyone out there. It's always, always, always about me. I should turn the air conditioner on because I'm sitting here sweating now. I get excited. You know, I get excited. But it is not you who are so vulnerable and open to attack. It's not you because you're spirit. It's not you. But anything that happens this way and that, we are not the willow tree. Spirit is not the willow tree. Spirit is the oak. But in that oak, because we're in this human form, we have to be willing. I have to be willing to flex. I have to be willing to bend. I have to be willing to compromise. I have to be willing to seek first to understand and then to be understood. That's a role, and that's still a role I choose to play because, you know, I heard Regis say, and I love it, you know, come home from work on Friday, come home at the end of the week and go home and just stay there and don't do anything and don't pay attention to anybody and just be in my own world. I don't have to anything. Don't have to do anything, but it's my choice because I want to appreciate and enjoy people. I want to laugh. I want to love. I want camaraderie. So these are things that just go with the program. My decision to compromise is still mine. And it doesn't mean that you have to make that decision to compromise. It doesn't have to do that. You know, everybody plays a role in this human experience. There's the person who says to the other person, "You never call me." The other one says, "That's because you always call me." There's the giver, the receiver, and then in another way, the other one becomes the giver and the receiver. We take turns doing things, but not necessarily in that way. This puppy, when we're at the top, when we're upstairs, I'll say, "Come on, let's go down," and he'll go 3 steps, and he turns around, and he looks at me. He's not moving until I take some steps. Now, if I only take 3 steps, if I'm on the same step with him, he's still not moving. I have to come down a few more steps before he does. And this is the dance that we now have. We teach people how to treat us. In this case, the puppy is treating me how to treat him, teaching me how to treat him. You know, we teach each other how to treat each other. It's a learning. It's always a learning experience. And at no point should I think that I have to be the oak. I get that spirit is in a state of grace forever, but in this human form, I have to flex and bend. I have to flex and bend. I have to put the air conditioner on if I don't want to stay in a sweat. I have to turn the stove off if I don't want the pasta to burn. Yeah, it's a flexing, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful because when I'm on the side of it where I think I know, and then I get to find out that I really don't know. I don't know that when I get to learn that everything is for my own best interest, everything is for my own best interest. You know, again, that situation with Karen, I think it was wonderful. For me, it just strengthened, it affirmed what we've been saying to each other. "I love you, you're my friend." It was okay. It affirmed it. We demonstrated it. It was a demonstration. I love that. I absolutely love that. So yeah, again, I had nothing in particular. Let me finish reading what I was reading here. Specialness is not the truth in you. Specialness is not the truth in you. Specialness we're talking about, can be thrown off balance by anything. What rests on nothing never can be stable. However large and overblown it seems to be, it still must rock and turn and whirl about with every breeze. I think about the Wizard of Oz, and when things seemed to be pulling apart and pulling away in Dorothy's dream, things were pulling away and tearing and roofs falling off and houses moving and all that stuff. But when it came down to it, when it found out the truth was that everything was always right there. The next sentence of that same section, sentence 1 of paragraph 4 says that without foundation, nothing is secure. Without foundation, nothing is secure. So for me to think that, you know, I've got this, yeah, you have to succumb to me, yeah, you're the one making all the mistakes, and you know, you're wrong, I'm right, and that's that, and I think I'm happy that way. being in a separate state, I know someone who doesn't have any spiritual practices. Let me put it that way. The individual has no spiritual practices, claims they do because they want me to think that they're on top of it, that they're on top of, their life and this, that, and the other. But Ernest Holmes wrote, show me how you're living and I'll tell you what you're thinking. That's a paraphrase, but that's basically it. Show me how you're living and I'll tell you what you're thinking. So for this person to tell me that they've got this, or and I'll send out a passage from the course or from somewhere else, and they're always yes, 100. No, at no point in time they say, I'm working on that. I seem to have an issue with that. I don't understand that. Can we talk about it? Never. But I know how they're living. I know that, at the drop of a hat, they get angry. At the drop of a hat, they become afraid. And I mean into panic mode at the drop of a hat. And yet we'll talk about other people who, and don't you just hate people who, that kind of thing. It's hilarious to me. It's absolutely hilarious to me. I understand today, just and only for this moment, because it can change at any moment, that what I am in truth is greater than what I even think I am. I can't always, I'm not always aware of that. I'm not always aware. I'm just not always aware. The sleep of forgetfulness, the course teaches, is only the unwillingness to remember. And I'm reminded that the habit of engaging with God and his creations is easy if I actively refuse to let my mind slip away. So obviously I'm not actively refusing. Obviously I'm unwilling to remember. And that's because the course teaches us that we've been miserable so long that we think that misery is pleasure. We're so accustomed to being miserable. I'm supposed to be, it's something. It's supposed to be a problem. It's supposed to be a problem. After all, how will I get lessons from which to learn? So if everything is going smooth, everything is cool, I have to create something. I have to create some kind of drama, and I do not. Let me be clear. Not intentionally, anyway. Not intentionally. Like you, little brother, I don't do drama, and I had to tell somebody that who got upset with me because I didn't want to hear them out with all their stuff about what they thought about the situation that was a couple of months ago that they didn't have the whole story anymore. There was no playback for that to be clear. Yes, Karen from Workbook Lesson 91. What you think you are is a belief to be undone. What I think I am, what we think we are, is a belief to be undone. Because I think I'm in this body. I think I'm the victim. I think I'm special. I think and that's special on either side of the zero line. Special because I think I'm better than, or special because I think I'm not as good as. So it's, where I put myself on that line is a determining factor here. And in some cases, it's sometimes I think I'm better than, and other times I don't think I'm not as good as. But today I say, well, I'm better than I used to be. I'm better than I used to be. That's all I can say. Workbook lesson number 7 says that miracles are everyone's right, but purification is necessary first. And that hope, and Zig Ziglar used to say, he talked about the good, the clean, the pure, the powerful, and the positive. And in the Bible, it says, whatever things are true and lovely and all that, think on those things. All these things that, in those moments when I need them, they're available to me, and I'm glad. Do I always? No, because the sleep of forgetfulness is the unwillingness to remember. And the habit of engaging is we slip away from it because we think we're not worthy of it. We don't think we deserve it. We don't think that others deserve it either. But most of the time, they're right there popping at me. I have them written down. I have 3x5 cards. I have a Word document. I will sometimes just take the lessons of the course, just the lessons, just the titles of the lessons, and just read them. And just read them, just, and just to get a pop, just a pop. Yesterday was one of those days. I did that yesterday. I sat and just read just the lessons, and it felt good. It felt good. This was, after the fact and all that other stuff, but I like doing that. Just a reminder, just a reminder, just a reminder. Ha ha. Well, I'll agree with that to a point. Because having studied astrology for over 20 years, I know that one has to look at the entire chart. And everyone has all 12 signs in there somewhere, whether how strong or how, for me, if I'm asked, for example, here in this forum, you tell me, take the mic, it's my mic. I'm willing to share the mic though. I am willing to share the mic. But no, I know some, I do know some people, but again, I'll look at a chart. I know some people if they have enough of that particular influence in their chart, enough of this but the person I'm talking about has like 7 planets in Leo. That person who I was talking about, who's always yes and always got it and always this, that, and the other, happens to have 7 of 10 planets in Leo. So yeah, that's a thing, but I got some softy to, again, you have to look at the whole chart. And I'm grateful. Who's writing that? Is that Lynn writing that? Some of your favorites are Leos, and you're the Aquarian, right? Is that correct? Lynn, you're an Aquarius? You're opposite? I was introduced to astrology from an Aquarius on February 4th, just a few days before your birthday. Yeah. Yeah, but I studied. I went in, teachers, and because that's how I do. If I'm in, I am in. When I read what I read, and I thought, oh my God, this is too much, and I was trying to prove that it didn't work. Couldn't. But what astrology did for me, was that it helped me connect. It gave me that sense of connection with at least the cosmos. I hadn't yet connected to people. I hadn't yet connected to the stuff out here, but it had me connect because I realized it's a blueprint. But I was able to establish a connection. And that was my first connection. From there, I came to A Course in Miracles, where I established the connection with my brother, my sister, and then to the Science of Mind teaching and those principles, where I started to establish a connection with everything else. And now the internet does it. Yeah, same here, logarithms and oh my God, all that. Yes, I have a program, Lynn. I have a program that I use, Halloran, and all I need is a birth time, date, time, and place, and I think it's a wonderful, wonderful tool. For me, it's where's more joining? What do we have in common? Because when I would find myself in difficult situations with people, or I was finding it difficult from my end to understand the what's and the whys of a person, just knowing their birthday, and it gave me some insight. I had a major disagreement with was going to have a major disagreement with one of another one of the licensed practitioners, because I just didn't like the way she talked to me. One day she said something, and before I knew it, I was heading in her direction. I wasn't even, and another practitioner who saw that and felt the energy, got right in front of me and looked at me, and she it was happening so fast. It was happening so, and it was not in a general setting. It was a dress up function, and on and on. I ended up having a conversation with the individual. She and I ended up having a conversation, and she said to me in the conversation, she says, my mother always told me about my mouth, that I just didn't know how to say things. And then I got her birthday, her actual, month, day, and year. I didn't have the time. I didn't need it. And there it was. I'm like, oh, but when she told me that her mother said that, see, the problem is we take things personally. We take things personally. How dare she talk that way to me? But the second she made the comment about what her mother said about how she's always been with her mouth, I realized it had nothing to do with me. And the second we get that it has nothing to do with the me that I thought I was, her being bigger and me being her, trying to make me small. Once I got past all that, every response we make is determined by what we think we are. Every response we make is determined by what we think we are. I'm right back where I started. I'm glad you came back with big little brother. Every response we make is determined by what we think we are, and what we want to be must determine every response we make. So the key is right at the top of page 10 of the text. It says, spirit is in a state of grace forever. My reality is only spirit, and therefore I am in a state of grace forever. And if I can hold on to that, if I can choose the moments when peace feels, when I think my peace is absent, which it never can be. Throughout the Bible, it never says find your peace. It says hold your peace, which means you already have the peace. But in those moments when I forget to engage with God, in those moments when I choose to sleep of forgetfulness instead with the unwillingness, it's in those moments that I have to remember that every response I make is determined by what I think I am. What do I think I am? What do I think I am? Who do I say I am? And I say that I am what God says I am, because my worth is not established, not even by what Zulma. It's not even established by what Zulma thinks. It's established by God. My worth is established by God, by life. The fact that I'm here. I believe it was Thomas Trower that said, the fact that I'm here. Nope, I can't quote it. But it's something, I can't quote it. I just lost it. Something about my soul, that I'm an organ here, that I'm supposed to be here. Basically, I'm supposed to be here. And that makes me worthy. I have and I am everything that God is. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for it. And I'm thankful for it. So, and yes, Lynn, the chart is a map. It's a roadmap. It's a guide of the person, and that's all it is. And it's wonderful. It's absolutely helped me join in a lot of ways with people. It's good because those characters, some of those physical, those are human characteristics really do come through. I have to understand that, the person who has to balance everything out, or the person that has to be, so free flowing, or that person that has to, be in control. I don't have a problem with that. I've come to have no problem with that. We're supposed to be different. I keep saying my thumbprints are different. If my two thumbprints on this same physical body are different, then why should I expect anything or anyone to be just like me, to do it my way? Well, speaking of my way, it's 1:00. I'm going to go because I'm not staying much longer. I'm giving a talk this afternoon at 6 p.m. I'm giving a talk. It's 1:00 here. So at 6 o'clock I have I'm speaking. I think I want to go with the conditions of peace or something thereabouts. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to put that together. I love you, family. Lynn, thank you for giving me the mic for now, and I'll see how I work this out in the coming days, weeks, as far as taking an actual spot. I'm kind of like a jump in and fill in because I never know what's going on. And I
Well,
hope that's
this is
okay.
perfect. I mean, really, it is perfect because this has been like an incredible little marathon of, I mean, honestly, Dove and Sharon and then Regis and then Karen and then you. And it's like, wow.
I want to do it interactive though. I would love for us. Ooh, if I would love for Regis, Karen, and I
Yeah,
do an
that's a Thankful
interactive
Thursday thing.
to do an interactive hour. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, my W&W friend.
All
Yes.
right, you guys. I love you so much. I'm so grateful for you. And
Thank you.
we will see some of you tonight on our deep dive into the Manual for Teachers at the same Zoom channel.